Hello and welcome to Box Free with Stephanie. Today I want to show you how to make some basic foods with simple ingredients from scratch, and I hope you discover cooking box free is fast and delicious. So let's cook together. Today we're going to make potluck baked beans because potlucks are something you go to a lot, and baked beans are always a good thing. And you know, I don't actually make these at home very much. But when I'm doing a potluck, half the time I bring these, especially if I know there's going to be electricity, because I like to put them in a crock pot, of course. Although I guess you wouldn't have to. You could just put them like in a hot dish pan or glass pan. Anyway, let's just get started. So I am chopping my nice gorgeous onion that I got from my neighbor, because when I went to open up my little cabinet today, I realized I had an itty bitty onion that was never going to be enough. So I called my neighbor. She had this big, beautiful onion, because I live in the country, so I can't just run to town and get another onion. So this onion is going to be wonderful. I don't always have huge ones like this, so I'm really glad Kari came through and had an onion. Okay, so all this beautiful onion is going to go into my cast iron, and I like to cook my vegetables before I put them in a crock pot for this dish, I guess. I don't know why. I just feel like I want them to be, this is not hot yet, I want them to be nice and soft when I put them in my crock pot to meld with all my other flavors. So, I don't know. If you feel like, I need a garbage thing here. If you feel like it's unnecessary to cook your vegetables the way I do, your peppers and onions, then you just don't have to. If you try it and think it works great, just skip this step. But I don't know. For some weird reason, I always cook them ahead of time. So I'm doing 1 onion and probably 1 pepper. And again, the color is based on what I have in the fridge. Typically I have green, but today I had no green. I just had my red and yellow. And I'm doing red, brown, and black. No, white beans. What am I doing? Yeah, brown, red, and black. No, white. Oh my gosh. Anyway, my point is I'm picking my color based on that also, because I don't know that I'm going to use my red one. And since I'm going to have dark red beans, I feel like I don't have to have the dark red or red peppers as much. But it's just totally aesthetics at this point. So, and I like to make my pieces here quite small, because this is a baked bean dish, and so I don't really want, I like everything to be about the size of a bean, so then it fits on your spoon nicely, and there's nothing that's huge chunks, because these are not going to be huge chunks. So anyway, if you're kind of a, whoopsie, I just go the other way. If you like big chunks, go for it. Some of my onions here I'm hoping will cook down to be a little bit smaller, because they're looking pretty chunky too, but that's okay. So I'm going to just see how much this pepper is, because I suppose I should measure, but I don't always. I don't know, what does my recipe say? 1 cup, so whatever. I don't measure that. I mean, that's way more than 1 cup, but onions I don't worry about. Well, and peppers I don't. I guess I don't worry about very much, maybe. I mean, like this is probably barely a cup, so I'm just going to throw that in, and I cook by looks and feel, so I don't know, looks like I could use some more peppers compared to my onions. And if I do my red, then I get a little more color, so let's just go for it. I'm just not going to use all of it. I'm just going to do a couple little strips here like this. So yeah, you just decide what you want. And if you only have 1 pepper and it's green or it's red, whatever, then it's going to be fine. It's at a potluck, so nobody will even know. They'll be happy to get some delicious baked beans. And of course, you can just keep this at home. You don't have to bring it to a potluck. Obviously, you can do whatever you want. So that's not very much red, but we're just going to let it go for now. We'll see how my onions kind of cook down. And this is taking forever, but that's okay. Okay, so then I have my bacon here that I baked in the oven, because I feel like that's just a really lovely way to cook bacon. keeps it all kind of clean, and then I just have to clean up my one little cookie tray. I lay them all flat across, you know, like strips across. And I try to get these like well done. These aren't as crispy as they can be, but that's also maybe because I was just paying attention and I like got them out of the oven before they were really crispy. But my point is, I think crispy bacon is okay for this dish because it sits in the crock pot and then the bacon's gonna get kind of soft anyway. So if it's crispy, you might still get a little bit of a crunch where like this is kind of softer, and I might not get much of a crunch in my baked beans when I eat them in 6 hours, because I'm not going to eat them for quite some time. This original recipe came from my Grandma Kathy, and so she baked hers or whatever, but because I do it in the crock pot potluck style, I always do it in a crock pot. So we'll set that over there. Okay, oh, where's my towel? Here it is. All right, so now my stuff is a-cooking. Let's see, I don't need this anymore. I'm gonna do just a little bit of oil in here. I don't really need extra oil because, I mean, my bacon, I got a whole thing of bacon with like no fat cut off, so we'll get a lot of good bacon flavor in there. But I just want this to cook down or get cooked a little bit, and then I'll add it in. But this is looking like a lot of very nice onions. So, okay, so now I do my beans. I do whatever, a big can of baked beans, and then I do cannellini because I like the white look. It's totally based on look in my opinion at that degree, at that point, and then dark red because I like the big, I like how these are very firm and they can kind of take the beating of a potluck where everybody's like stirring them and going after it. I'm just going to dump these in the sink and let them strain. So for that reason, I like the kidney beans, and then these cannellini, which is a white kidney bean. I like the look of the white bean, and so I always try to put that into it. And these are just like the red. They're pretty sturdy, and they can kind of take a beating also with all the stirring, so that's nice. Let me just do this. Because you can do the little white bean. All of a sudden I can't think of what it's called. Just a little white bean. Maybe it's not northern beans, but I can't think of it right now. But you can do any bean you want. I used to do black beans a lot, but then my husband thinks they make it a little bit bitter, and I don't know, I just love black beans, so I usually do black beans. But lately I've been doing the red, the white, and the brown. So I don't know, you just mix it up. Whatever you have too. Like if you don't have a bean, then you just use something else. But you do need, I think you need a regular can of baked beans. And then obviously I'm not going to drain this out because that would kind of lose all our good flavorings. But for some reason, I do always pick out the bacon. Like, I don't know. I know some people think that's the best part of it, but I don't. I don't know. Something about that bacon is just not my favorite. So, okay, so these are strained enough. Let's see if I can make a mess. So we're going to dump those in, and already it's so pretty, like the red and the white. I just love it. I think it looks very nice. I'm going to keep this itty bitty chunk of fat that's in the top of my baked beans because whatever, that's fine too. Okay, so now what have I got going on? I better move this. Okay, so now I'm just putting everything into my crock pot. And that's why it's really a nice dish to make because, I mean, if you didn't do this step, my gosh, you just throw it all in and then you'd be done. But because I'm not actually going to a potluck today, I'm just going to let these simmer on low for like 6 hours or 8 hours. And then we'll eat them tonight. Because I do feel like you really want your flavors to blend a little bit. Okay, so while I'm just going to use the same spoon, while my onions and peppers are cooking nicely here, it does look really pretty with my yellow and orange, I'm going to add the rest of my stuff. So I've had 2 cans of beans, 1 big can of baked beans, pound of bacon, 1 onion, a pepper or 2, And now I'm adding all my other junk. So 1 cup of ketchup. Here's my little squeeze bottle. Because you know, the new bottles nowadays that are like those upside down ones, you go to like squeeze it onto your hot dog or Polish and it just like squirts all over the place. So I bought a fancy little thing at the grocery store, and now I feel like I'm at like a restaurant every time I use my ketchup. Ugh, which actually doesn't hold very much. So watch this, I'm not even gonna have a cup in here. Oh my goodness, wow. Okay, so now I'll get my other one out of the fridge that I didn't think I would need. This one. This thing is what I'm talking about. When you have it upside down and then you go to like squeeze it out, it just comes like blasting out. So we got tired of that. So now we've got the, I don't know, like the Dairy Queen style or something. So that's our life. It's our life on Red Pine Road here, is we have the Dairy Queen ketchup squeezer thing. Pretty lucky. Pretty fancy stuff going on here. Okay, let's get back to cooking. 1 cup of ketchup. Then I'm gonna do brown sugar. Oh, and I didn't get my liquid smoke. So the thing about baked beans is everybody kind of likes them different, in my opinion. Some people like them very sweet, and some people like them very tangy. Some people like them very smoky. Some people like them with like temperature, or not, like spicy heat. So I am like a middle of the road. I like a little bit of sweet, a little bit of smoke, and a little bit of tang. So that's why I feel like I'm gonna share my recipe today, but you may not think that it's the greatest thing on earth because it's not smoky enough, or it's not sweet enough, or, and you know what, like I do kind of measure this recipe, but I also just wing it, and then I taste it, and then I'm like, oh, it needs more mustard, oh, more Worcestershire, and I'm kind of one to always put more Worcestershire in because I just really like it, I feel like. And here's how I measure this. This is dirty, so my spoon isn't dirty yet, and it's a liquid, so I just pour it in here, and I'm looking for 2 teaspoons, and like that's about 2 teaspoons. I mean, I have no idea. It's got to be close, but like I just don't worry about it because I'm gonna add and, you know, whatever, take things out. And then mustard, here's how I do mustard. I need 2 teaspoons. Is that right? Yeah, 2 teaspoons. So I just squeeze it in. That's probably 1 teaspoon. That's probably 2 teaspoons. So I probably put more, but like it doesn't matter. Again, I don't know. So I'm just saying we all cook a little bit differently. That's how I do it, which is not very like concrete. My teaspoon of salt, that's how I measure that. And then my 2 tablespoons of vinegar. I guess I'll measure this because I usually don't. And then what I've discovered is my stuff is like, woo, tangy vinegar, because I'm just like, oh yeah, that's good. And then it's probably too much, you know. I don't seem to under vinegar things. I probably over vinegar. So today I'm going to actually measure. So I'm going to get this dirty after all, which is fine. Anyway, yeah. So 1 tablespoon and now 2 tablespoons. Okay. So is that everything? I guess it is. Wow, very easy. Okay, and these are getting cooked. See, they're getting very nice and translucent, and that makes me feel better because I just feel like I don't really know if they would cook as much in my crock pot, and if I dump them in now, I feel like at least they are halfway cooked and they'll be nice and soft, and so it's all just personal preference. But I need my smoke, and I need a hot pad to grab my thing, my pan. Okay, so here's my liquid smoke. I'm supposed to do, oh, I don't even have it on here. Oh my goodness. Okay, I hardly have any. This stuff is like so incredibly old, you guys. I don't even know if I should be using it anymore. It's so old. But I do, and we're making it. We're alive. So I'm gonna do half a teaspoon, which is, I'm just gonna fill this halfway. I'm just gonna smell it. I think it's so cool smelling. It smells like outside right now. Oh my gosh, yeah, it's smoky. Okay, anyway, so you might need more liquid smoke based on your preferences. All right, I'm gonna unplug this thing, get this over here. Now I'm going to dump all of my beautiful onion and peppers. I'm gonna have to bring some down to Kari and be like, look at what your onion did for me. It's lovely. And it really was much nicer than what I would have had to do, and I fake it or something. Okay, I'm gonna stick this over here too, because I'm done with that. All right, so now, got this plugged in. So now what I'm gonna do is see if I got enough liquid, because it just seems like it's really dry. You know, you wanna drain your beans, because really all you're doing is putting salt water in there, and like, I don't know, that doesn't seem very appealing. But whatever, if you like the taste from the canned beans, just keep them in. It's your deal. Did I turn that off? Yeah, okay, and it's unplugged. Okay, so I don't know if you can see in here, but it looks gorgeous. Like, see how the colored beans are just so pretty, like the deep red with the white and then the brown. And then my onion pieces are a little bit bigger than normal, I think because I was maybe in a hurry or something, but I would have liked to have smaller onion pieces, but we're gonna say that it adds more depth and dimension to the potluck beans. So I think it's gonna be just dandy. It'll be fine. So I added a cup of ketchup, half a cup of brown sugar, 2 tablespoons of vinegar, 1 teaspoon of salt, 2 teaspoons of mustard, 2 teaspoons of Worcestershire, half a teaspoon of smoke. I think that's it. So now I'm gonna taste them and see. This is where like the doctoring, like, oh, I think it needs more mustard, or needs more ketchup, or maybe brown sugar, maybe more smoke. And then the other thing is you should test this in like 4 hours or 6 hours or something too, once it's all like cooked in here for so long, just to see what else you need. But let's just take a little bite. Okay, they're not even hot and they taste pretty good. So yay, my numbers worked out today, my recipe. I'm just call that good. Okay, well, I'm gonna just be done. I think that's it. So this is what they look like, and they are perfect for a potluck. So I have this big thing and it only filled it halfway. So I must double it when I do a potluck, but that, I don't know, I swear, this is my recipe for my potluck picnic beans or whatever. So I don't know what I do. I maybe double it for a potluck. But here you are, potluck baked beans. Super easy and super fast. I hope you try them out. Thanks for watching Bots Free with Stephanie. I hope you like the show. I hope you make some potluck baked beans and everybody loves them at the potluck. I appreciate your time watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.